Open Class Doodles 52 with the general manager, the assistant director, the wonderful, fantastic host of this endeavor. Where are you going? Where are you going? I can understand. It's like, and myself, the co-founder of the COACHMC studio, the place where we'll help actors, performers, entertainers to really shape unique behavior deliveries to stand out in the audition room, no matter where the audition takes place or what we are actually auditioned for, because we live in a constant state of negotiation and auditioning, right? Wherever we go, it's a casting, it's an audition. We're presenting our product, our art, our communication. And so therefore it has become truly important also in a time of, like I said in the title, of constant market fluctuations and unstable financial outlooks and actually turmoils, to position yourself and your art in the most in the most effective way to create those multiple streams of income, to know exactly that you're not completely dependent on the system and therefore living a bit more independent, creative life. So therefore, let's jump in today's talk, and I hope my guest will also be on board. He seems to kind of encounter a couple of technical difficulties, but he will be definitely here soon, I'm sure. And therefore, without any further ado, let's jump into Open Class Doodles 52, Tactical Doodles for Success. Artists selling art with e-commerce right after this. And let's see what's cooking. Yeah, it's crazy times. We just liquidated $1.29 trillion tonight. I don't know if anyone is aware, because we're just talking about working rap stars instead of talking about the really serious stuff. And I think a lot of the of the media noise that we definitely every day have to kind of suffer and see is there to entertain us, sure, but it's also distracting us a lot from the stuff that I guess truly matters, right? Because nobody's talking about that. Since the last FOMC meeting, this is a meeting where the financial institution that is the most glorious here in the United States, the Federal Reserve, kind of declares its statutes, its strategies, and how they think or believe how they want to solve some of the financial problems that we're facing globally, but also nationally. And since that day, the markets are basically going nuts. And why am I talking about this right at the beginning of the show? Yeah, it's exactly. Let's print some more money. Let's create no, but the problem is that what is happening since then, it is that the markets have been receiving this clear signal out of Washington, which is the greatest capital machine in the world, and therefore the most respected, and somehow still one of the most prominent that everybody kind of follows. And this tiptoeing strategy of Jerome and his cohorts up there in Washington for the last couple of years has not been the most successful, let's admit it. And the numbers seem bad. Nobody's really believing the statistics they're giving out. And this, I'm trying to at one point kind of decreasing inflation without ruining the capital market of labor. Both things, they don't work at the same time. And so by still keeping that money policy open, basically what we're seeing now is not anymore the problem that we have probably to face a full-fledged inflation. No, it is the dark angel of recession that kind of is swinging and hovering over the room, and that is not a good sign. And yesterday, the Japanese central bank has experienced some major problems. I think since 1987, the Nikkei index didn't start that low. Again, usually we're not necessarily covering these financial. I'm getting to a point here. South Korea has suspended its trading yesterday. Right? It is completely which, yes, of course, can happen once in a while, but still, it's a significant event. It's not something that happens every day. And we're facing this enormous financial backlash that is guys, what happened 2008, and we're continuously saying this on this channel, also when we're talking about blockchain, of course, and hey, welcome everybody. And Mephisto is here, Osiris here, and already kind of firing up the chat. I believe the global economy is going to, oh yeah, it is already. I mean, they're just, they're covering up their tracks. They're, look at the twerking rapper, right? Oh, look at this, or look at something else, but don't look at the real problem, because that would kind of, yeah, it definitely kind of cause some problems, right? You need to respond to other stuff. Oh, by the way, hey to you. Yeah, who knew usury works out this way? Yeah. Who installed the system, by the way? Hey, if you want to find that out, why don't you join us? There is a show called Three Sages and a Time Machine, where we are covering exactly these type of topics, where we're going to in the past and we're trying to find out what happened, right? Shedding light into the mysteries of history. And there's definitely a lot of topics that we're covering there that are also explaining the current situation. There is reason to be slightly concerned here, guys, because like I said, they are laying off thousands of people right now. Silicon Valley, Hollywood, California is losing has already lost over 1 million people, creative people. I'm talking about middle-class people, working people, people who are involved in the industry, and they're all changing their working places. They're shifting all over the country, which again is not just, it's an observation. I'm concerned because we still have these powers, right, that are commanding the structures that seem not to, acknowledge it publicly, right, which creates a problem for the institution that they can't follow up, right? And so therefore we're creating a very dangerous cycle of, neglecting and kind of covering up the problem with more thin air printed paper, right? And I think, this is a very good comment, by the way, Osiris. My job will remain unaffected. That's interesting. That's very good. And Mephisto tells us, YouTubers have been saying that we have reached a peak out of modern society. Now it's spiraling downwards. There are definitely oscillations that we can observe. There is the famous 250-year oscillation. There is the 40-year oscillation, where we always have decline, and then we have, of course, consolidation, and then increasing quality again. There are oscillations in the way we move around the sun and how the sun is increasing its power, its emanating power, because if the weather changes, it's because sun activity is changing. The 98% factor of weather in our solar system, it's because of that thing called solar, which contains 98% of the mass of our solar system. So if the biggest mass giver is also the biggest changer of course, our magnetic environment, then that will definitely reflect upon the object that is traveling inside of that magnetic environment that is created by the so-called solar system, right? So therefore, the beauty of knowledge is that once you apply it, once you kind of let it, flow into your work, and this is our mission here at the COACHMC studio, then you can thrive. And so therefore, I'm really pumped also about today's guest. URI Rahimi is a great guy, because he has found a method to make money in at the same time allowing artists to make money, which is, it's not very often that things like this happen, right? If I'm a street I was born on the street with my art, and then of course I also transitioned into the more, formal orthodox ways of selling my art. And so therefore, I kind of having witnessed that, firsthand over the span of the last 25 years, I know how important it is for artists to have a source of income that is outside of the system that right now is the most unreliable in the history of humankind. That's so crazy. We are the most evolved and the most unstable at the same time, which definitely speaks books and chapters about how we kind of manage our incredible resources. But then again, it's our mission, it's our mission, whether we're thriving or not, to understand how we can, sell our art, get to our customers, reach out to our tribe and to our community, and thrive all together. So therefore, let's applaud Mr. URI Rahimi to join the show, and let him be the one to tell a great story about how artists and business can go hand in hand. Welcome to the COACHMC studio. Welcome to Open Class Doodles, sir.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. Sorry for being a little bit late. And this is my first time on StreamYard. So I tried in the, prior to joining, I tried to blur my screen. a little bit just because I didn't even realize what was in the background, because I'm obviously not in a nice studio like you know. So next time I'll have my I'll have something better set up with a green screen or whatever.
Beautiful, beautiful. We're looking forward. We're, you know, the most important thing is visible. That is your illuminating face and the information that you have and the presence that you're sharing with us. That's the most important part. So thank you so much for joining today's show. It's definitely a pleasure to kind of give the creative community always the opportunity to meet new creators, new networkers, new, you know, industrial leaders, people who are, you know, kind of in that business. And as a community, that's our mission, to know the story. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Sure. So let's see. How long do you want this to be? Is it a 2-minute question or a 5-minute question?
No, as long as you want it to be. Just give me whatever you feel you need to give me.
Sure. So let's see. So I grew up in the Netherlands, and I moved to the United States when I was 10 with my family. And in high school, I was a pretty decent student. I didn't really know what I was going to get into after school, and I ended up studying computer science at the University of Southern California. And I thought I was a pretty decent computer programmer, but it turned out that no one wanted to hire me. And I was
Why
stuck.
was that?
I don't know. I didn't ask them. Actually, I did ask them, but they wouldn't tell me. But the point was, I tried getting like internships, and that really didn't work out very well. So I was like home one summer, and I decided to start selling things on Amazon. And that was kind of that was actually like a little side hustle that I had in high school. And from there,
did you see that somewhere, or was someone telling you this, that there was something on Amazon, or were you like generally interested in those fields anyways, or how did that come?
No. I mean, I was at home. Like, I felt like a loser because all my friends have, like, you know, internships at like Google and Microsoft and Apple and so on. And like, I had to, like, I was going on Craigslist looking for stuff to do. And then I had already like had a little business in high school where I was like selling or fixing like iPhones. Like back then it was like the iPhone 4, 4S, 3GS, and so on. So I would take people's phones and like fix them, and then I'd flip them and so on. And so I'd obviously bought things on Amazon before. And at that time, I was just selling on eBay, and or that's what I was doing in high school. And then from there, I said, okay, hey, let's give this Amazon thing a try. I get from Mephisto X, hail to you, Yuri. Okay, hopefully I'm not being too long-winded, but long story short, I started.
No, don't worry, man.
I started a little business selling things online. So we started actually selling vape accessories. So for those in the audience that are a little younger, you guys may remember the Juul. And at the time when I was thinking about, oh, what do I actually sell? I don't have much money, so like, you know, what can I really get into? And I saw, well, everyone on campus smokes this Juul, and then they always lose it. So like, why not come up with like a little phone case, right? A little pocket for the Juul. That made sense to me. Turned out that was actually a pretty good idea.
Great market analysis. Very, you know, it was necessary, right? You made something useful, right?
So this was the summer of I guess like going into the summer of 2017. And so we came up with a phone case, and we like made a little Shopify website. And then I started reaching out to these like accounts on Instagram, like, hey, I have this little phone case. And it was right at like the peak of Juul. And it like really popped off. And we sold like tens of thousands of units in the first couple of months or something like that. And you know, long story short, I was able to like save up a little bit of money. And then I thought like, okay, this is cool, like great. I still obviously had 2 more years of school to finish. And I said, okay, well, what else can I sell? So then from there, it was like, well, people, you know, have this need for a little phone case. What about like stickers for the Juul? And then that's where that business went. And then from there was like, well, what about like laptop and computer stickers, like laptop stickers? That's kind of like, may not make a lot of sense, but in college, kids, at least at my time, were putting like stickers on their laptop.
No, absolutely. You were spotting like a signature move of a certain culture and what they needed in order to express themselves. Sure.
Yes, you're saying it in really nice terms. To me, it was just like, where the hell are these kids getting these stickers? Like, why not just get a designer to make a couple sticker packs? So we did that, and then those actually started selling really well on Amazon. So much so that by the time, and I'm fast forwarding like a year, I thought, well, why can't I just continue coming up with products from Amazon? And then I thought, well, what can I really create where I can kind of get really strong unit economics. And maybe that's a term not everyone's familiar with, but essentially, like, if you're launching products and you're not manufacturing themselves, every single additional manufacturer you work with adds like overhead and adds complications with communications and so on.
Energy,
So I thought,
dispensation. Yes,
exactly. So I thought, well, wall art, like posters, art prints, like that's kind of cheap, and I can get that made in the US, and then I can just basically see on Amazon what kind of art are people looking for. And then I had some ideas for art, and then I just started launching the art on Shopify on Amazon. And that actually was like the thing that kind of grew the business. So fast forwarding like a year or two from there, when I'm graduating college, I never ended up applying for jobs afterwards because I had close to like a six-figure income stream heading out of college. So I thought, okay, I have a few things that work, but what can I do now? And then naturally from art prints, we get into picture frames and larger art, different art.
Were you always interested in art? Was there something or was that again like some sort of analysis that you kind of, what was the thing that you made think of art? Because that's
okay. So you may not like this answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth. No, I didn't have anything particularly for art. I didn't dislike art, but I feel like if I don't want to lie to you or your audience,
no, absolutely, that's super interesting.
Did I hang posters on my wall when I was a kid? Yeah. Do I remember them? No. I don't even know where I got them from. And then when I was in college, I probably had the only art I really hung up was my own art. So the thing.
So but you were drawing and you were kind of doodling around or something, or you had some own sketches going on.
No, I'm going to give you a different answer, and you may not like this answer, but I'll give it to you anyway.
There are no answers I actually dislike.
I think artistic expression can be done in a lot of different ways. I have a lot of fun, and I think my artistic expression is best done not through the medium of art on a canvas or on a computer or whatever.
Right.
It's instead with putting things together and taking a small business from 0 to 1. That is
absolutely.
That's where my creativity comes on.
I think if you are the conduit of creativity, which can be just translated in finding solutions, whatever product that is the result of that can be called art. Like a beautifully complex and highly functional and effective business machine to me is a piece of art. If I think at Walmart distributions, at their logistics center, how they kind of transport goods and how they make the orders and everything, to me, that is art. That thing is an art system.
Yes, agree. I think I don't want to make it seem like my business is massive or anything like that. To give everyone an idea, I'm 28 years old. My business employs about 50 people. So I don't know, back of the envelope math. We're not Apple, but it's a business I'm proud of, obviously.
Absolutely. You're giving 50 people, work, which is an amazing feat, right? There's nothing to be too modest about. And I think also the reason I wanted you in the program is because of exactly that. It's not because you're an artist yourself, but the way you conduct business is an art. And I think today, like what we've seen over the weekend, that we've just lost $2 trillion over the weekend. Markets are collapsing. We're in a full-fledged recession. Japanese index is crashing. Chinese have debts. America is drowning in debts. We're printing money out of thin air. And to know as an artist, hey, there is always a solution. If there is a will, if there's a practicality, if you have a clear thinking mind that is acting creatively, you always find a solution. And especially in those times of crisis, especially when markets are collapsing and crashing, it's our mission to stay calm, first of all, and to understand when demand is going to rise again, people, will be asking for goods again. So I should position myself now in a way that when everything is coming back to normal again, I will be one of the first to have this head start.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll take that a little bit further as well. I also find that almost all of my friends somehow also turned into, phone. 1 second.
Sure.
I'm about to my girlfriend is making food for my brother and my dad and I who are here. And I told my brother not to come in, but he comes in anyway. Yeah, I did.
I say hello to your father anyways, of course.
Yeah, so for those of you that might be wondering, I live in Miami, and that's actually how Lorenzo and I indirectly got in touch. But okay, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about
no, absolutely, about how you created and kind of built up that business that you have running that employs 50 people. Tell us a little bit. If I'm an artist and I want to sell my art,
yes,
first,
exactly.
Why should I do that? Like, give us a bit of a.
I'll bring this thread home because some of you are wondering, like, okay, so you're selling art on Amazon, where does that go? So anyway, yeah, so we started a wall art brand that sold a lot on Amazon. I think at this point we're probably the number 1 or number 2 wall art brand on Amazon. It's called House and Hughes. But from there, we started getting a lot of smaller artists and retail shops hitting us up about, hey, can you print my art, or can you guys potentially like package for, a set of 100 framed prints for my next pop-up shop and things like that. So slowly but surely, we built up like a catalog of, a book of wholesale business. And we essentially started taking the expertise that we've had built over the years and kind of outsourcing that to artists who may not have the means to invest a lot of money opening up a warehouse and buying printers and framing equipment and negotiating with overseas suppliers and things like that. And
basically the whole production structure, right? And kind of that's the problem also for smaller artists. They have great ideas, the sketches that they have have a lot of potential, but how can I turn this into a business? Yes,
exactly. So we started doing that for other artists, and right around a couple of years ago, some of you guys may have been come across like print on demand companies like Printify, Gelato, Guten, and so on. And they essentially allow an artist to take a design and sell it on a mug or a t-shirt or an art print or a towel, like dozens of little different things. And we wanted to do that a little bit differently, because if you're working with another POD that's really just a software company, you have like multiple layers of middlemen that really hike prices. And if you're an artist, one of the things you want to be proud of is the quality of art that your customers actually buy. Nothing is worse than selling a $100 piece and there's a misprint, or the art is broken, and your customer hits you up and you're like, hey, what's going on with this? And then you have to go reach out to the software company, who reaches out to a customer rep in the Philippines, who reaches out to the manufacturer in Latvia, and it's just a cycle that goes on for like a week. And then next thing you know, you lost your customer and you have a bad review. And on top of that, makes you feel kind of shitty because
just for context, for maybe the audiences or the artists that are new to the game and don't really understand how this print on demand business is usually working. So you have whether institutions that actually own the manufacturing gear, or you have sometimes producers of print on demand services that kind of have subcontractors that they hire them to do the work that you're giving them to in order to produce, to sell. So what do you think are the advantages and the disadvantages of these two, systems?
Okay, so I can only think of one advantage. If you talk about a company that is an aggregator of different suppliers, the one advantage would be if I want to have lots of different types of merch that's all standardized. Like let's say if I'm Mr. Beast. I don't know. Mr. Beast, I think, has his own relationships in for manufacturers, but let's pretend he doesn't. I don't really know, but I say Mr. Beast because I'm sure everyone knows Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast, let's say that he has his little logo and he wanted to sell T-shirts, mugs, towels, sweatshirts, hoodies,
like dramatically different items,
like all the different types of things, and he has customers all around the world. Right. As opposed to like concentrated mostly in Europe or North America, then that could make sense. Another thing is they're fairly large. What you trade off with working with kind of like a smaller operation like me is choice, I guess, right? Like they are going to offer more choice broadly across like product category. But to be I mean, I don't know. That's about it. I don't
I
think
know.
if you,
I agree, because I don't. Besides that, okay, if you have a big aggregator that sells, to a lot of people at the same time on dramatically different surfaces and items, then yeah, sure, maybe owning this instead of kind of subcontracting that of all the time maybe actually reduces cost. Okay, but otherwise, if you're a rather like a fairly small enterprise, and you want to make sure that you cover with your quality a fair amount of of people, and you don't have that much of different items, because you don't have that relevance to be recognized through different items. You're not a world standing brand, so you first need to establish yourself as a brand. So you start small with something like, yes, prints and calendars and arts prints and big posters and stuff like that.
yeah. So agree. Yeah. So I agree on that front. I can talk a lot more of the negatives, but the reason I can talk about the negatives is this is why I built this part of my business and invested a few $1,000,000 building out, a set of software
Sure.
suites or software application to kind of solve some of these issues. But the issues are essentially if you're building any brand, you want to be close to the point of production. If you're dealing
Mhm.
with a supplier via a Filipino middleman
Right.
in the form of customer service, like
Yeah.
good luck running a business. That
Yeah,
sucks when
you're
Q4
installing friction. Yes, installing
yes,
friction.
and ultimately, your business is really only going to go so far as you can satisfy your customers. If you can satisfy your
Mhm.
customers, great. If not, you're probably not going to be in business forever. And that's kind of what I think a lot of people have realized when they start their Etsy store or the Shopify store or their Amazon store or whatever it may be. Because ultimately, a lot of people eventually figure out that China specifically manufactures a lot of our stuff, and they don't like buying uh, you know
Mhm.
higher price things when they don't need to.
Right.
And in terms of building a brand where the product quality matters a lot, as opposed to maybe an undifferentiated commodity type product,
Yes.
the product quality really is important. And for a brand owner, you want to make sure that the person that's producing your stuff is someone A, you can trust, and B, that's reliable, and C, that you like their pricing,
Yes.
because ultimately a lot of this really does
Of
boil down
course.
to economics. So on that on that front, we built, I guess I can say the name now, right? Artello. So if you would like to know what I'm talking about, it's go to
Yes.
www.artello.io,
Don't worry,
and
we definitely
essentially,
include all the links to reach out to you. And yeah, yeah.
okay, sure. So what we essentially do is we offer a print on demand fine art printing and framing service
Mhm.
for e-commerce artists, pop-up shops, retail locations, basically anyone
Very cool.
who is an artist that wants to have their art printed. And what we do versus like some artists may use like a local print shop, and that
Mhm.
works for a lot of different for some scenarios, but oftentimes local print shops aren't equipped to package orders for e-commerce, or
Mhm.
they're not equipped to also frame.
Mhm.
And if you're working, let's say, with a local print shop and a local framer, those two need to be in communication. And what if they don't like each other? What if they're far away from each other? What if they don't offer the types of frames that you like? What if they don't know how to send out an order to a customer?
Yes.
Many times, smaller businesses have limited means, and with limited means, it means that they're typically not very customizable. So,
Right.
with that in mind, we essentially wanted to offer the tools for an artist, especially an e-commerce artist. I feel like that's really the niche we're going after, so that they can build the I don't know, they're the ultimate brand, the ultimate art brand. That's it in a nutshell.
No, it's beautiful. Absolutely. And really congrats also on how you build the structure and how through the various steps of kind of, of always kind of, I feel like your observational methods, the instruments of your analysis are very sharp, because you're always coming out, whether it's like an instinctive move or not, it doesn't matter. It's still kind of the universe speaking through you and you making sure that that happens. So you making sure that these informations are feeling welcome in your system. So therefore you're getting them. So there is no such thing as coincidence. I don't believe in luck. It's always the preparation that meets the opportunity that makes the moment, magic. And therefore, I feel like with many people, when they're focused on finding their purpose, and this is one big flag of my channel, because you are definitely like exemplifying this perfectly. I always talk about this Simon Sinek idea of finding your why and finding your purpose is a bit of an obscene concept, to be honest. So many people are, relentlessly searching for the fruit of their essence. They can do that for the rest of their lives and they will never be productive. And being unproductive and stagnant is, in my opinion, in my experience, the number one reason for depression and mood swings and feeling bad. If your faculty of creativity can be channeled somehow, you will eternally feel doomed and you can be on the hunt for your purpose forever. Now you are, contrary to that, value proposition, someone who's more practically oriented and finds stuff that is useful in the moment that can be then kind of turned into a business, and you kind of, you process your creativity around it. You're not trying to find your purpose, you're trying to find a solution. And that's like a significant difference that I'm always trying to kind of, get over as a message over here at the COACHMC studio, guys. If you are useful and find solutions in whatever business, you will thrive. And creativity can also be that.
Yeah, totally agree. Do you want to go off on that? Because I have a few additional things that I think
please,
like helpful words of advice. So I think one of the most important qualities to have is gratitude. And the reason I say that, and I'm sure your mom tells you, hey, you should be grateful for everything. But I really think that matters. There's nothing worse than an ungrateful person, because everyone has things to be grateful for. And it's only when you recognize the blessings you already have that you allow yourself to open up to other opportunities. Sounds kind of cliche, but I think, I think gratitude in people is a really important trait. And it's something, frankly, that I think a lot of people are missing in their lives, because it's always easy whenever, life happens and things go against your against
also
your will.
Because gratitude comes from a place of generosity, right? And generosity, if you think in terms of generosity instead of scarcity, again, we have more inclinations to find solutions and instead of always seeing just problems.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. I found the most successful entrepreneurs that I know are all very giving as opposed to taking, and I've found this myself as well. There's limits, obviously. You can't just give everything away for free. But I find the people that are very willing to give their time when it makes sense, make introductions when it makes sense, get a lot of that in return. I guess what you put out there, you get back multiple folds. If you're someone who is very salesy, very much self-interested, it comes across poorly. And oftentimes the opportunities that help you grow your business or help you grow your brand or whatever it may be are really outside of your control. And then in hindsight, look very serendipitous, but largely they're often a function of someone just that happened to come across a LinkedIn post you had or an Instagram post and remembered a conversation that they had last week with someone that you otherwise hadn't heard of before. And because you made a good impression on them, they were willing to make, that introduction. So
is that a belief also of spirituality, to kind of believe that more you give into that, energy field, the more positive you are, the more positivity you will earn from it?
I'll let someone else answer that. I don't think necessarily. I think it kind of looks like this. So I don't believe in like the law of attraction. I think like, for instance, I don't think scientifically, right? It meets the standards I'm looking for, but it does work, and it does work. Because what does it ask you to do? It allows you. It asks you to essentially. And I don't know. I haven't read the Secret. Law of Attraction comes from the book The Secret, if I'm not mistaken. My mom made me. My mom's a huge believer in this, right? So in high school, I read this book. So we're going back like 10 years, 12 years or so since I've read this. So if I'm getting the specifics wrong, I apologize. But I do have an interesting opinion on this. Whether or not you believe in The Secret and the mechanisms through which The Secret purports to work, aligning your thoughts based on how The Secret tells you to align your thoughts actually does work.
Exactly. That's fascinating. That's a conundrum. It's a logical conundrum, right? You can't get out of the cycle.
Yeah. So does that answer your question on
Yes, absolutely. And I think you're totally spot on. Also, you need to be more given. Like if you're
like inclined more to give than to take, you will receive more than you actually work for. This is, I think, Jim Rohn. It's not my quote. It's early like business schools of Jim Rohn.
Funnily enough, when I was growing up, my mom would always play Jim Rohn.
Yes.
I'm trying to.
Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill.
Yes, Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill's book,
Dale Carnegie.
Yes. I'm kind of a skeptic generally, but I do think that
that's okay. Like, Socrates was also a skeptic.
Yes, but the thing is, these principles do kind of work.
Of course.
Like that, you'll hear. I'm the first one to not so much admit this, because you actually want these things to be true, in a way. It's kind of like, in a way, like regardless of whether or not you believe in God, right? Right. Wouldn't it be great if God was real like that? Like I would, if I could have it my way, like, yeah, make that real. Because why would I want to wither into the ground and die and be eaten by earthworms when I can go to to heaven? Yes. Like, obviously, sure.
It's romantic. Yes.
Right. Yeah, so that's better.
Definitely, yes. It's more positive. Like it's as an ending. It's like, okay, guys, I'm going to rot in hell. Thank you. No, sure. It's beautiful that when as artists we kind of think of, I need to make money with my art or through my art, and they think of, I always find this cloud, this mystification, how complicated it is. I'll get access to galleries. Like, guys, sell your stuff online, make advertising around it, sell your stories, put it online, sell it through e-commerce, get it uploaded. Of course, will it lose its, because a lot of artists complain that e-commerce, it's commerce, right? And they think idealistically their art shouldn't be connected to this rotten and ugly word. But in the end, this is what keeps us alive. And hey, if there is any reason why this new world was discovered, it's because of commerce, right? Commerce dictates all our thriving mechanisms on this planet. Human society is based on that very principle. So we shouldn't be afraid. Of course, I'm not talking about selling out your art, but what is better what is more difficult? Is it more difficult to live without any money, or is it difficult to live with money and, still having that bit of a bad conscience, though, that you feel like you're selling your art to people you don't know? If that, what is more difficult for you? Is like, at least you have something to eat, at least you have roof, at least you have a thriving economy for yourself, autonomy over your life, control over your actions. Isn't that way better? And so I promote these websites, and I myself also, we know each other because we met for a business. We met for speaking about the possibilities of selling our art. And definitely I'm up for it. I need my time to organize all that, but I want to go there because I want my art to be seen. And I don't need necessarily to know every person I'm selling my art to. It's actually like the same thing on YouTube. When I'm streaming here, I don't know Cyrus, I don't know Pat, I don't know all these people. I know them over time. I read their comments, understand their characters. So yes, I get you can say, I know them. Hey, what's up? Hey, we are a couple of people here. I often think of machines as wanting to do something. I've used that in my business to do things better and faster. Yes, sure. If you can get the machine. Sanya, thanks so much for stopping by. Hey, Vincinger's here too. Cool. Hey, Vincinger, what's up? Super Migo, sorry I'm late. No, I'm sorry. Guys, no. It was my mistake, of course. It was, it's supposed to be... It was
actually my mistake.
It's actually his mistake. No, it's not.
Let's be honest.
I changed the publishing time today from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Usually it's 6 p.m. So, and then, a couple of technical bada boom, bada bum. No. So it was, what's up, Justin? Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm sorry, guys. No. How is this usually working with you and the artist? How, he contacts you and then you basically giving a run through of the mechanisms, and then you can choose when and how to sell the art. Is it basically that in a nutshell? What does he not need to bring? What are your requirements? What are you looking for?
Sure. So we're completely agnostic in terms of what you decide to do, how you decide to sell the art. So we have integrations with e-commerce channels like Shopify and Etsy. We'll be adding Amazon in pretty short order, as well as WordPress as well. But we also operate, in fact, actually the majority of our customers are what we consider like wholesale customers. Those would be like retail shops and like pop-up shop artists. So I'm sure, and pop-up shop artist is kind of like a catch-all term that we use for artists that host for galleries and things like that. And well, it's hard for me to answer and read this question at the same time. So I don't know how long it's going to be up, but long story short, the only thing we need are like digital versions of your designs, whether that be in JPEG, TIFF, PNG, PDF, or whatever, including also photographers. So what that then allows you to do on Artelo is upload your art a lot in a very similar way as you might upload your art to Google Drive or Canva or whatever. And from there, once your art is uploaded, you're able to create art products. So those would be like physical products. So an example might be, let's say I have, I don't know, a design. Let's say we take this like print that you have sitting in front of the whiteboard over there. Let's say you have that digitized. You can then take that, upload it, and then have it printed on a number of different paper types, ranging in quality all the way up to like very high-end fine art papers like Hahnemühle. And then you can add a frame to it. So you can kind of go up and down the quality ranges there and add different branding options, whether that is custom branding, a custom insert, custom stickers onto the box or whatever it may be. And then from there, you're essentially branding a product experience, and you can scale that out across all of your different designs. And you kind of choose what you want to do with that. You can order wholesale and have a bunch of prints, framed or otherwise, sent to your retail location or to your pop-up shop location or to a client that you had via fair or something like that. And another thing that you can do is print on demand, so that if you get an order on Shopify and your Shopify account is connected to Artelo, we would then get that order, print it for you, package it for you, ship it out the door to your customer with your branding and label it, your branding and packaging, and unboxing exactly how you like it. And then, once your customer gets the order, they think it came from you. And in a nutshell, yeah, that's kind of
fantastic.
Print on demand. And we really don't do anything like unique in terms of how the print on demand system works. But the unique factor about us is that we're like exclusively focused on fine art printing and framing. And we really like to build on relationships. I think since I've been, I guess I don't call myself an artist, but I do call myself, I guess, like an art seller or like an art merchant. I've had to deal with a lot of print shops, before I started my own, and it's really frustrating, not being able to communicate well, especially when an issue comes up or when you have, an important holiday coming up or whatever, like Christmas or back to school or something.
Right.
And it is those issues that I wanted to solve with Artelo. That's kind of like I created the print on demand software and service that I wish existed for me. That's a good way to put it.
How long did it take, like, to program all this, to put it together?
Okay, so about a year and a half, but it was a lot faster because I didn't get into like all the little businesses I have, but I had another software business, and we kind of stripped that code repository and retooled it, which was able to kind of shave several months off getting started. And I also hired my best friend to be our CTO. That is my best friend and probably the best engineer that I know.
And your slave, your personal slave, which is great to have someone like this.
Well, no, I'm glad. I don't know why you said that, because what if he watches this? No, his name's Jake. He's actually like a rocket scientist. He used to work at SpaceX.
Nice.
And so yeah, all of this wouldn't really be possible without him. And that's another thing that I'll tell you. It's very hard to do everything by yourself. And in fact, you'll realize you're probably very limited. Like there are only a few things that I'm really, really good at. And programming is not one of them. Even though I'm technical, I'm just not a great engineer. I'm a decent engineer. And if you want to, and as a decent engineer, you realize like, oh my God, these great engineers are way better. So it's like, it's one of these other things is trying to make sure, you have
that the right
really,
people in the right position. Yes.
high quality people to work with. Exactly.
Right. But having also the self-awareness is not that easy, right? And I think a lot of brands, startups, and these tech companies, but not necessarily tech companies, also arts companies, they sometimes fail because inside of those companies, it is not clear who really kind of takes in the positions. And sometimes, the egos don't permit to kind of, allow to kind of take a step sideways or backwards, is like let someone else do the jobs that you're not totally capable of performing, right? Therefore you give the company more soul because you allow the company to function and just not making it about yourself all the time.
Yes, I agree.
No, don't worry, man. Yuri, if you need to go, don't worry. Just absolutely, it was already a blast having you here. I think you've enlightened the community. Again, please let us know where we can find you. I will definitely include also the links, and to the artists watching right now, to everybody who is maybe asking himself, like, do I have like a little collection that is worth printing? Should I, show this to Yuri, like, and maybe let him audit your material. And if you think you guys are a great match, then, start uploading your material and selling your art. So definitely, give us your shout out, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably should have had something prepped. So it turns out that I'm not huge on social media. I don't have many followers like you do. I checked your Instagram. You have quite a few followers. The thing is, I don't know. I don't think you want to follow my Instagram. I haven't posted in like 7 years or something like that. So
where we can find you online then. So that's off the table for sure.
LinkedIn is boring. I think I have, I don't know. I think I might have like 1,500, 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. I don't know why, but
fair enough.
Actually, yeah, I guess I post every now and then. So I guess LinkedIn, you just look up my name, Yuri, spelled URI, Rahimi, RAHIMI.
I'm sorry, I said Rahmani in the intro, man. I'm really sorry. I made you. I turned you into an Iranian or something. Rahmani.
Well, it's still Iranian. It's just the way you're saying it is super Iranian. I just like to be low key Iranian. You know?
Oh, okay, nice. The underground version. I like that. I was like, good.
Lowercase Iranian. That's a good way to put it, right? Yes. But okay, where were we? I think you probably. I don't know. I guess it's a bad answer. I'm on Twitter, but I have like an anonymous Twitter, so I don't even want to say my anonymous Twitter, and that's because I don't know. I don't even go on Twitter that often. Let's see. So yeah, socials. I'm just not a good social media person. Maybe it makes sense. Like my website artelo.io. That's how you can find what I'm talking about. There's an easy way to reach out to me there. I actually do a lot of customer onboarding calls, and I do that because, especially on that first call, it's important for me to be a good representative of the service to my customers. So that's, if you want to sign up, you're probably either talking to me, Alexis, or my brother. So that's who typically does the onboarding calls. Other than that, I can come on again if this is interesting. I guess I saw people. I've always wanted to. I've done like 2 or so podcasts in my day. So this is probably like my 3rd, even though it's just like a live stream.
No, you're doing.
So
well,
I guess
man.
I said, like, let me know in the chat if you want me to come back. If you guys want me to come back, I can come back another time. I mean,
definitely.
No issue, but I don't even know if I'm interesting to listen to. I don't know.
Are you kidding, man? This is exactly no. I mean, we can work a little bit on the voice. This is what we do over here at the COACHMC studio. No, but besides of that, it's not always about the context. It's also about the content. Over here at the COACHMC studio, we're looking for creative people, for industry leaders, for acting professionals, for entertainment professionals, but also people like you that are kind of living their own business idea, their own brand, and kind of perpetuating that. And that is so beautiful to get to know these stories. Are you kidding? It's great to reverse engineer it for your own process, understand how you tick and how you kind of applied your solutions. This is like golden. And therefore, I thank you very much for your expertise. I think the chat loved you. They will hit me definitely back. Thank you so much for stopping by, for your time. Definitely include the link. And yeah, if the chat agrees, Monday is definitely, it's our strategy hour. I will also have other YouTubers coming in sometimes, so you can join the madness once in a while, and we will talk about pretty much everything. We freely roam around because there's so much to explore, so many stories to tell. So Pat has already given his thumbs up, so I guess that's a yes.
You get a thumbs up to Pat as well. All right, Pat.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it for you coming.
Thanks again. I'll be in touch. We'll figure out what to do. If you want to have me on again, happy to come on.
I would love to, man. Say hi to your dad and have a good time, man, and see you soon.
Will do. Thanks. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
And that was Yuri, man. Great guest. I loved his energy the first time we met. I immediately thought about bringing him to the show because I feel like, it's inspiring to see like how people can thrive, what they can construct, and his focus, his dedication, his professionality. Like first time I met him really struck me. It's like, wow, he's so driven. I wish I could have had that type of drive, but I guess like every way has its own, of course, meandering, his own obstacles, and therefore every way has its own validity. So if you are an artist, if you even like what he said was also interesting. He said if he's agnostic, so whoever wants to bring his art should come forward and print it, upload it, print it, frame it, and ship it. That's basically it. And of course, kind of creating these channels, having a Shopify account, all that, it takes time. It's fairly like, it's not too complicated, but it takes a lot of time. It is quite complicated. I mean, it's like complex, I would say is the right word, because there are many things that you need to do. By all means, I'm not good at that either. We definitely need to set it up, but that would all be my beautiful wife Alessandra doing it and not me, because I'm the one who speaks, right? And so therefore I just need to be creative like a couple of times during the day, and everything else I just hey, amore, do it, please, make it happen, do the magic. This is what we do here over here at the COACHMC studio. Someone talks and someone does the magic. How you guys doing in the chat? You enjoying the show tonight? I hope you do. Again, sorry for the time change. Tomorrow 6 p.m. we have 3 sages and a time machine, and I'm also truly excited about that episode. We have a big show coming up tomorrow. I can't wait to unleash the madness upon you. And besides that, of course, like always, I want to remind you guys, if you are still looking for your creative Polaris, like for your artistic North Star, how is this navigation, your career? How does this look right now? Are you kind of, are you satisfied with the outcome, or are you still looking for your ultimate goal? And so over here at the COACHMC studio, it's not just about, kind of giving you tips or advice about how to perform a scene, or it's really to find that type of purpose in your performance, to kind of create something truly unique, not just delivering lines or just making a drawing, making something special and getting really intimately connected with your art. And usually the way to do that is to get really access to the full potential of your access. I just said that like the Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay, access, you need the access to your creative core. Yes, otherwise it won't work. The action, the access, the need to the access of evil. Yes, no, I really said it like him right now. If you want to get access to your creative core, you usually the process is, it takes a while. It takes a while to understand yourself, to remove blockages, to kind of getting better, and just improving on your quality means also improving your skills, improving your technicality, improving your handling, working on yourself. I truly believe that art is actually, the passion for art is just an excuse to work on ourselves. The more passion we have for art, the more we work on ourselves, because in the end, being an artist means to be yourself. I don't think that there is, I mean, yes, of course, definitely, like the system produces, one-night wonders, right? Those one-hit wonders that will disappear like a comet in the sky, and they're just marketing gags. Not all of them, but some of them. Sure, that happens, but that is usually an external factor. I'm talking about really creating something that has legacy, that is outstanding and lasting. And in order to kind of create that, you need the right tools. You need the introspection. You need the right practice, and also the right mentorship. So definitely come over to the COACHMC studio. It's readytoperform.com. Send me a direct message and let's create something together. And we also audit portfolios, and we just recently added the public speaking course. That is probably I don't know, it's one of the most booked, I don't know, it's even more booked than the acting course right now, I feel. And this is also like a great, I would say a little achievement that because nobody really believed in applying the acting training to public speaking, to, communication. Yes, I mean, there have been some courses in Hollywood. Yeah, but like really translating the acting tools into public speaking. Why? Because I feel no real working actor has so far being also a recognizable acting coach, to be honest. And it's just the nature of the thing. It's not to judge them. Acting coaches, they were not coming out of the acting experience. Usually these are actors that bailed very early and didn't really go through the industry, or sometimes they were dropping out. But to have a working actor giving you also the mentorship that an acting coach, I feel, should give you nowadays, is truly important, because I know what works on set. I know where I'm coming from. And therefore, the development that we have over here is a development that is reflecting also the needs that the industry has, and not some ethereal ideas. And therefore, I think that's why it's so effective also for public speaking, because acting is a lot of conveying ideas creatively. In the end, it's offering emotions, making some good points, and having an enticing delivery. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes of 10, 15, 100, a million of minutes, right? Of unfiltered, effective, direct, powerful communication that is in loving relationship with your instruments, your body, and your voice. That was a rather large and extensive public service announcement on my behalf. I'm really sorry. I just went off on a tangent there. I missed Dragon Slayers. Dragon Slayer commentaries, he's usually the derailer, so if he's not there, then I have to do it. I'm not an alcoholic. Yeah, no, Yuri is truly, I feel he's very inspiring. He has an interesting power. He has a good way of looking at things and finding solutions. And that's why I wanted him on the show. Okay. Thank you. I will. Nice. No, nice. Pat Brad agrees. Yeah, guys. I'm preparing a great show for tomorrow. So today, since also my guest had to kind of, exit the show a bit earlier, we're wrapping this up, also because my day has been crazy so far. I don't know how many clients and how many words I spoke today. I mean, it's incredible. I feel like I'm imploding. I'm just losing control over my motoric functions here. No, but truly, I've enjoyed it, because artists feel like when they are creating their art, that's the most important process and nothing else. Like and looking out for these solutions and understanding that there are some simple strategies actually how to see, because I feel like it's not really the money that drives the artist. Definitely it comes in handy, sure, but it's not the money. The artist is driven by his purpose, by just doing that. And when you are doing without acknowledgement, then it becomes, it becomes toxic. So having that type of recognition of getting acknowledged by a market and seeing that, because our brain is triggered to function this way. It's all binary, right? It's all a mechanical world. Oh, now you actively see, wow, I'm monetizing my art. There is someone out there, even if it's anonymous. I will never meet him probably, but there's someone out there who actually bought my art. I can see that now. So therefore, there is acknowledgement happening. And it's not just for the sake of creating that obsession that you have, that we artists should all have. Because that, again, if it's just that, if there is no recognition, no long-term recognition, of course, we feel miserable as artists. Not because of the money, because we don't feel acknowledged. We don't feel worthy. We feel like we don't have value. We don't have statement. We don't have a standing in this society. And people like Yuri make it possible. And just go to Artelo and check him out in a discovery session with him, in an onboard, like, I don't know how you call it, the onboarding, the reception of the onboarding, whatever it was. Like, maybe there is a way. of bringing your art forward. Winzinger, I saw you, drawing stuff on Instagram, color it, upload it, sell it. You never know. You never know. Maybe it's for a kid's room, maybe it's for a living room, maybe it's just, for someone who likes to hang up the stuff, for a decorator, for someone who has a movie and he needs a little bit of decoration for this fashion design apartment. So, you never know. And recognition and acknowledgement in a society that is so driven by results and status and agendas, right? It's difficult to achieve that. That's why, these channels that we are having and the conversations that we're having are so popular on YouTube, on Twitch, on Kick, on Rumble, and all that. Why? Because on Twitter, because we get together, we can communicate, we get acknowledged, we can exchange ideas, we can fight, we can, scream at each other, but at least there is someone. So it's kind of weird to think that the digital world offers more recognition and identity than the real world, where everything has become so, dissected and so artificial and so unreal and so stiff and wooden. All of a sudden, everything needs to be political correct and is driven by certain agendas. That's why, movies usually are. That's why there was another Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's why movies will still be alive and around in 100 years from now. I'll be back. No, but like seriously, we need escapism. We need entertainment. Because of that reason, because sometimes in those movies we find more realness than our real life. The first time I saw The Matrix, I was questioning everything after that movie. And there were some other movies as well where I felt this is realer than real. Like Third Encounter, Extraordinary, what was it? Extraordinary Encounter of the Third Kind? Also that movie, E.T., those movies felt real to me. I don't know, they did something with me. And I'm missing those movies. Yeah, we had some in the 2000s. Sure, we had Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. What was wrong with me? But yeah, not many movies made it into the 2000s that still kind of, just very few hit that type of quality mark, right? That type of resonance. And again, as artists today, when we don't have, the system communicating with us honestly, we're looking for these alternative solutions, like what you will propose to us tonight. And sometimes when I encounter artists over here at the studio as well, I ask them, like, what is it that you want? Yeah, I want to see myself in a movie. I want to see myself on the billboard. It's like, what is it that you want? Yeah, I want to be, it's like, but what is it that you want? And then at the end, if I ask this a couple of times, like a German freaked out scientist, at a certain point, the answer is finally true. Like, not that the other answers wouldn't be true. Of course, it's okay if you want to see yourself on the billboard. I'm not saying that's not true. It's one of the manifestations of something that is way more deep-seated, though. And that is recognition. We all want to be recognized. And that's fine. We all want to be seen. Somehow we do. Especially the ones who hide. They are the first who actually like to be recognized and seen and perceived and acknowledged. That's why they hide. Because inside of themselves, deep down, they know that they have potential, but they're not shying the audience. They're shying of the responsibility. If there's one cliche sentence out of the entertainment world, the comic book world that we can take, is that a lot of power automatically brings in a lot of responsibility. That's true. So they hide, they shy, they are behind the curtains, even though they want to be on front row. Put yourself out there. Deal with the criticism. Deal with the rejection. Deal with the no's. Deal with all that stuff. So what? We all need to deal with it. There is no way of, circumventing that. There is no way of bypassing that. There is no way of avoiding that. Failure, mistakes, rejections, no's, pushbacks. It's part of understanding how valuable we are as an artist, because the artist, he keeps doing what he likes most, because that's the only way he can express himself fully, authentically. So you should avoid everything else. But in order to focus, you need to create a space around your art, a perception, a recognition. That's why you need to sell it. Otherwise, it's not art, just therapy. Right? Because art that is not displayed is therapy. You know, you have to go through these 3 stages. You have an inception, you have a creation, and then you have a display. If you're missing the display, the cycle is not complete, brother and sister. You need to complete the cycle, my friend. My young Padawan, complete the cycle. That was more like Karate Kid. I saw Karate Kid the other day. Beautiful. Ralph Macchio is truly cool. But Mr. Miyagi, great actor. Beautiful actor. He was actually a great karate star. Like, he was a karate master, like one of the most venerated masters actually on planet Earth. Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. As funny as that seems. No, guys. So thank you again for stopping by. Again, a very short episode, but it was like, the day was truly crazy. Please forgive me. I at least wanted to give you this new guest, this new participant in our creative community madness. Definitely introduce his his product, his ideas, but most importantly to me, it was to show you guys like how he built all this, how creative it was, what his mechanisms, operations were, because that is to reverse engineer and find a remix to our own art, so in the form of a context, so it's appealing for the masses, right? You really should watch Community. There's a whole episode dedicated to the Karate Kid. I love Karate Kid. Oh, nice movie. Great movie. Nostalgic movie. I mean, I think the 90s and the 80s were so good also because they were taking themselves not too seriously in these movies. Even if I watch like Natural Born Killers, still that movie it's almost a farce, right? The movie is so hysterical, it's almost a farce, and it works in itself. Like The Shining, Stanley Kubrick. I was just watching a new documentary about, the Elster Studios. Actually, that could be something that we could cover here potentially on 3 Sages in a Time Machine, because of course I have a different decode. No, but Elster, of course, the L, right? The god L, the Elster Studios. No wonder that he shot The Shining there. Probably the best horror movie of all time still. Why? Because it's super scary and super frightening. And there is so much. There's so many layers of storytelling. Now, we definitely should do a decode on The Shining on the channel. That's true mastery for sure. Stanley Kubrick, all-time great, best director, best film director of all time. And this is, me saying this as an Italian. We have Fellini, we have Sergio Leone, we have Bernardo Bertolucci, we have Vittorio Gassman. Incredible directors that changed movie making. But Kubrick is the best, guys. He's just the best. Why? Because he's the most obsessed. This is what we're talking about. He was just obsessed. Every detail, everything mattered. Everything that needed to be perfect. There was no way of escaping his cage of madness, right? He had everybody under control. Truly, like manipulative. He was 48, laws of power exemplified. Robert Greene, the author of the book. He should do a book on Kubrick. I should he should really do that. I would be the first to buy it, like how he would kind of analyze his way of thinking. I'm a little bit derailing here. My point was that tomorrow we have 3 Sages. On Thursday we have our next open class. And then on Saturday, the usual madness with Saturday Night Hypnosis. We're reaching episode 103, which is very close to our 2nd year anniversary. Can we say that? 2nd year anniversary on Saturday Night Hypnosis. 2 years, 104 episodes. Incredible. Like, unbelievable. Incredible. Again, we started with this little community of, and now like almost 1,000 people watching every time we get together. Everything is achievable, guys. It's just about us, the will, determination. Sometimes it's not even that much of a time. It's just understanding that you have to be connected with the things that you do. And don't be shy of the creative path. Even if that is a rocky path, it's truly complex and complicated. That's why it's successful. Think of the greatest companies on planet Earth. They are successful because they're complicated. Things are great because they're complicated. Yes, simple things can be beautiful too, but in order to be successful, they need that, that complexity. The pyramids are the most, on the surface, the most uncomplex looking thing on planet Earth. This is simple construction, right? It's just a triangle standing on the ground. But the further you inspect and dissect the building, the more you enter into the geometry, the architecture, the planning, the strategically, how this whole thing is positioned. Like hundreds of years and thousands of universities have still not figured out how this building was built, even though on the outside it looks fairly simple. But its complexity that still today baffles people and all over the globe. And we're still failing of coming up with any type of explanation how this thing was physically erected. So you see, on the outside, things can look simple. But on the inside, I think there needs to be a certain degree of complexity in order to be truly outstanding. To be a remarkable product, you need that path of complexity. Otherwise, it won't be, as hard to achieve. And therefore, you invest less energy, less concentration, less craftsmanship, less everything. People nowadays, they believe that the shortcut makes them save energy. But it's actually, they have to duplicate that effort in order to come up with someone who just puts in more effort into his creating first his skills and focusing on that and making it fairly complicated and then proposing it. Because in the end, that guy that travels slower and travels safer gets actually further because he saves that momentum and invests it into the right thing. And that's ultimately the practice of the artist, to understand how that kind of, will help you to thrive, to propel yourself forward, to make really a leap into your efforts, into your career efforts. That thing with Mercante kind of blew up. Yes, it did. It was truly funny. It was one of those things. Yeah, it did. So guys, again, Pat, Winzinger, Sanya, beautiful Mephisto, Osiris, all the others, Yuri, Rahimi. It was great to have you all on the show today. Open Class Doodles 52. I think we can call it a wrap. So I think we have learned, if you're an artist, submit your material to Artello. It's not any recommendation, but just, check out all the possibilities that you have, right? And kind of make sure that you can market your art, especially in those times. Like, we burned $2 trillion in less than 48 hours. The markets are in a full-blown recession. They just pushing it back because of the elections. It will definitely kind of blow us away in 2026. Now is the time when everybody's crying, when there's blood on the streets and the buildings are collapsing, to build your new building that will be the tallest building in town. Till then, see you guys. And now I guess you are ready to perform.